All right, welcome everyone to this episode of Grimbrook Tonite. Today's guest, we have Dylan Wesley, aka Zon Zwinger. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, so it's been a minute. Probably haven't seen you in a little over a year. It's funny. I know we got introduced to each other through Dylan Hensley. At the time, you were basically like drumming in the background while he was doing some performances, and I know we were joking back then because it was you, Dylan, and Jake, and we were calling it, the band name was Two Dylans and a Jake.
Right.
It's funny that was so consistent for a couple of months that like I felt like you guys were a band at that point in time.
Uh, we kind of were a band for that point in time. It was a lot of fun. And
It
I
was.
actually I saw Jake the other day. We played drums at a Target. You saw that?
Yeah, actually, that was pretty cool. Which Target were you guys at?
Bayshore.
Nice. So
Yeah.
were you doing like dueling drums, or was it just like jamming out and letting people listen, or how'd that go?
Kind of a little bit of both, dueling and then just fucking played for like 20 minutes straight. And some people even came up to us in their car and said nice things, and they were yelling at us and like, "Yeah, rock on, man," and stuff like that. It was
That's
pretty cool.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool to like have something spontaneous like that where it's not like a planned event at a venue and you can just show up. And it's funny, I've got a PA system that I rigged onto a hand truck that I'm planning over the summer, and I'd love to get you guys involved too, is to just like show up places and perform because all you really got to do is plug the thing in and you got to basically concert in a box, so to speak.
yeah, man, that sounds awesome. I was thinking about taking the Zon Zwinger thing to Times Square. That's pretty far-fetched, but it'd be a good idea. I don't. You might need a permit or something like that, but it would be cool to plug in to somewhere in Times Square and just do my thing for about 25 minutes and go back home or just
For
chill in the
sure,
city.
dude. Times Square is definitely the spot for Zon Zwinger to kind of unleash. So if you want to try and do that, I'd be down to bring this thing into Manhattan with you and set that up, and I could even record it on video, and we could get that going.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, let's keep that in mind for the summer.
All right, sounds good. Well, hey, in an effort to help our audience get to know you a little bit better, I know you're obviously a multi-talented musician. You play a variety of instruments, and I'm curious, kind of, what was the first instrument you picked up and got started with, and how did that get going?
Well, I first started playing the drums
Nice.
when I was younger. It clicked naturally, and once you figure out rhythm, you can play a lot of other instruments. So once you start playing the drums, you can play guitar and bass, all that stuff. So that's what I did. I learned drums, then I learned guitar. I'm not very good at guitar, but I can work my way around the strings, and I'm very good with melodies. So then I learned how to play bass, and that's one of my favorite instruments to play. I like to groove on the bass, keyboards. It's Zon Swinger, bass, keyboards,
Right.
and vocals. I don't consider myself a vocalist, but I try to get the job done. Uh, Brian Wilson is a huge inspiration.
Of course.
I try to sound like him sometimes. He uses a lot of double track vocals, and when I do Zon Swinger music, I actually like triple and quadruple track vocals. So I take what he did and like I don't know, do more of the doubling and all that kind of shit. I just like how it sounds.
No, and it sounds awesome. Even as like as a fan, I'll say it's been really cool to watch. I mean, one, your progression as an artist, because I feel like I've seen a couple of different projects from you now, and even gotten to kind of see a rollout and a release of a newer project recently. And I'm curious, even just with the Zonswinger persona, as opposed to say the Dylan I got to know as a drummer in the Dylan Two Dylans and a Jake band. How did the Zon persona kind of develop, and where did you come up with that?
Well, the Zon Zwinger persona came up when I played in a band called Scream Day with my two friends, and it was a lot of fun. We're huge fans of Gary Wilson and the Blind Dates. Gary Wilson is a not inside, underground artist. He does a lot of strange like bedroom pop stuff. I'm obsessed with it, and we kind of wanted to look like him, so we wore wigs and we dressed wacky,
Nice.
and it was a lot of fun. My most favorite band I've ever been a part of. So we all kind of had names for ourselves. The lead singer was Trip Fontaine. The bass player was Gooter Covington, and our guitar player was Dominic DeCoco. So I'm like, okay, I have to think of a name. And I figured I started writing down names. And the first version of Zon Zwinger was going to be Zon Swinger.
Okay.
Then I'm like, yeah, let me try two Z's, Zon Zwinger. And
Right.
that's where the Zon Zwinger came about. And I started writing songs for Scream Day. And my friend from Scream Day was like, yeah, you can, if you want, you can use these songs for your solo project. And
Nice.
so the first track I ever wrote was "Stay Away from My House." That was the first Zon Zwinger song I ever wrote, and that was gonna be for Scream Day, but we I kept it for myself, and then from there on, shit, man, I wrote so many songs.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't know. It came naturally, and over time, I reuse riffs
Sure.
because that's just you know pretty natural for a musician to want to do that, and especially because Gary Wilson he reuses a ton of his own riffs, and it sounds awesome, and I think it's hilarious. So I reuse riffs and I reuse lyrics and themes. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I took the ball and I rolled it as far as I could, and I'm still trying to roll it, but you know, at some point I have to figure, this is it's going to come to an end because how many songs could I write with this character? I don't know. I'm coming to an end, but I'm still going to play shows.
Of course, yeah. I mean, because the material's there, so I mean, it's got it's a life of its own. I mean, you don't necessarily have to keep creating. You can play the stuff that you have, and it's funny. As someone that's had a chance to listen to most, if not all, of your music, one pattern that I notice is that a lot of the tracks that you create are pretty short. I mean, a lot of them are like under 2 minutes. Is that intentional, or is that just a product of the creative process? How did that happen?
No, that's definitely intentional. Well, maybe at first it wasn't, but as I went on, I realized shorter songs are more accessible,
Sure.
and people won't, lose attention. And I used to write music when I first started out under Inside Curfew, and I still do that. So that kind of music was very psychedelic and a lot different than this. I wrote a song that was like 11 minutes long,
Wow.
stuff like that. I have a progressive rock album. I wouldn't say progressive. I don't know what the hell it's called, garage rock or something.
Sure.
But it's very lengthy. It's a 40-minute album.
Yeah.
Uh, but these songs are a minute and change, and I feel like it gets to the listener quicker than a 6 or 7 minute song or something like that. I just feel like I like to keep it under 3 minutes, just because it's catchy and it's quick and it's punchy, and it's you can cram a lot into an album if you write shorter songs.
That's true. Now you mentioned obviously you feel like the life cycle of Zon might be coming to an end, but can we expect any new music from Zon in the near future, or are you just riding the wave now?
No, you can expect new stuff. I have a song in the bank, and I have an instrumental I need to put vocals on.
Cool.
Yeah, I have a new song coming out called Prom Night,
Yes.
and the other one is called Party for Two.
All right.
I haven't put vocals on it, but I have lyrics and all that stuff lined up. So I have a show July 17th. I'll play those new tracks at.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the new track we just recently put out. I honestly forgot about it until we just started talking about Zon was
Bass Train,
Space
man.
Train. Yeah, and I want to thank you because obviously what you did brought the track to another level. And it's funny, I know I had sent it to you. You threw some lyrics on there. You sent it back, and I sat on it for a while. And I'm curious, even when I sent it to you, what were you thinking? Like, what got you into that mind state to really? Because the chorus that you came up with definitely feels like we're going to outer space, and it elevated the track, and it forced me to want to re-record it to make it that much better after hearing your stuff. So I'd love to hear what kind of inspired your creative process when I sent that to you.
Well, it came out of left field because I'm not very used to, doing hip hop stuff.
Okay.
So, I listened to it a couple times. I'm trying to think, what would sound cool. And I don't know. I like the space theme. The space theme is it's fun to write lyrics in that kind of space, theme. Gary Wilson wrote a whole album about going to outer space. So
Oh wow.
it's pretty funny how it correlated like that. But No, man, Space Train is was a lot of fun. It's been a while since we worked on that. Well,
Of
maybe
course.
like a year and a half ago. So I can't really tell you exactly what I was thinking.
Sure.
But I do remember it was the hook came quickly, and it was once I laid it down, I was like, oh yeah, uh, it sounded good. I was proud of it, and now it's released. So did you play it at your show?
I didn't perform it because I felt like the first time I perform it in public, we have to do it together. But
Yeah.
basically, when the set was over, I turned it on just to play out and let people listen. I announced like, "Hey, this song's out now, featuring my buddy Zon Zwinger," and let basically just let the room listen to it. So people got a chance to hear it, and the feedback was great. So
Oh, awesome.
it's really cool that it's out there. And I guess I mean, obviously, we're kind of been hyper focused on Zom, but I want to shift gears real quick because I know you're also in another band called Shiverboard, and you play with like a lot of energy on stage. So I'm curious, what basically inspired you guys to be so animated in your performance?
Well, that's my friend James. He's also in Scream Day.
Okay,
He he was the he's like the songwriter behind both bands. He wrote all the Scream Day songs, and he writes all the Shiverboard songs. And me and the other guys, we just play his music and we interpret it ourselves as a band. But the energy from him, he loves a lot of hardcore, high intensity kind of music, and so
okay.
do I. From not as much as he does, but I know he likes one band called The Locust, and I actually listened to them this morning, and I had to turn it off because it was batshit crazy, and it was too much for 9:30 in the morning. But The Locust is it sounds like Shiverboard, and Shiverboard is very high intensity,
Right.
very in your face, very what do you call it? When you go to a Shiverboard show, you're gonna feel like probably a little uncomfortable because it's just so like fucking crazy.
Right.
Um, so yeah, that's all him. He likes to create that intensity, and we all throw in our own portion of that too. I like to play drums as fast as I can, um, and the guitar players, they all go nuts too and throw their own flair into it, and it's a lot of fun. It's a very fun band. We're gonna play next month, and we've been practicing once a week now, and getting our chops up and stuff.
Nice. Well, so we've kind of run the spectrum so far from, your drumming days with two Dylans and a Jake, I mean, Zon, and now Shiverboard. So I'm curious, obviously, you have a very eclectic musical style in terms of the things that you can perform, the things that you're interested in. You've mentioned Gary Wilson a couple of times, but are there any other artists that kind of influence you and inspire you in terms of your musicianship and the way that you play and the things that you're interested in?
Yeah, definitely. I said Brian Wilson, Gary Wilson. Pink Floyd is a huge one. The songwriting aspect of Pink Floyd.
Right.
Let's see, John Mouse. Um, I've been getting into house music lately,
Okay.
so some house band, the Free Electric Band. That's a good one. One of the I really like. It's not house, but Electric Light Orchestra (ELO). They're great.
Yeah, yeah.
Very inspiring with their harmonies and stuff and vocal stylings. I just listen to so many bands I don't even know. Inspirations. Let's see. Um, geez, I don't know. A lot of like what's the dude that did Plantation? Mort Garson. Is that his name? Yeah, I like the way his synths sound. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Brian Wilson is the main one.
Right.
All that stuff. Everyone knows Pet Sounds, but I like to dig deep and listen to Beach Boy albums like Love You is a big inspiration, and Smile. Those are two albums I like the most by the Beach Boys, and very inspiring. Especially Love You has a lot of cool keyboard sounds and whimsical lyrics and melodies and stuff like that. A lot. I love a lot of sunshine pop,
Right.
bubblegum pop. Psychedelic pop. Anything with a catchy melody. I'm all about it. Yeah.
So I've had a chance to see you perform as a group, or I should say, as part of a group, as a solo artist at multiple venues, and I'm curious of the places that you've had a chance to play in the past. Do you like which one's your favorite?
Oh man, that's a good question. Uh, My favorite. Uh, yeah, I played Brooklyn like two or three times. Those were fun times.
Hmm.
Velvet Lounge is always fun because there I feel like I can just well anywhere I feel like I can just be my just kind of not have any pressure on me.
Yeah.
Last time I played Velvet Lounge was during COVID. It was like September, and I was hammered drunk, but I just felt no pressure. I don't feel any pressure at all, and that's what's good about these low key venues like Velvet Lounge and
Yeah.
Portside is fun. Even though Portside usually is a Monday night kind of thing,
Right.
the crowd is very engaged. Um, yeah, I don't know. Velvet Lounge is fun. I had a show once in July of 2019. Uh, Probably the biggest turnout for a Zon Zwinger show. Very
I
very
was
good
actually
turnout.
at that show. Yeah, I remember that one. That
Yeah,
was a lot of fun because even as a fan, that so you were like headlining an open mic night, right? Was that what
yeah.
that was? Yeah. So, and the only reason I remember it so vividly, well, two reasons really, is one, you're right, the size of the crowd, it was shoulder to shoulder in that open space by the bar, and
Yep.
then if you wanted any space to breathe, you had to sit on that couch in the back, back by where like I guess at the that was for Jackie's, right? Jackie was running that one. That was, or was that a
Uh,
Max show?
that was Jackie.
That was Jackie, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember sitting back by that booth and just admiring everything that was going on in front of me because I knew
Yeah.
I had to perform after, so I didn't want to get too deep into the craziness and then forget my own focus. But I was rocking like a vest and a tie, and it was all like in that mode of at the time I was really in that like Peaky Blinders style clothing.
Love that
But
style, man.
thanks. Yeah, and it's funny because that's when you mentioned the Velvet Lounge, that was the first thing that popped into my head was that performance because that was an epic Zon night for sure.
That was a
And
great night overall, man.
of course, and even you mentioning too how it's so low key in terms of pressure. And I had a chance to meet a girl that was performing at the Velvet Lounge for the first time the other day while I was over there, and I said to her like, "Oh, like have you performed here before?" And we were having some technical difficulties in the beginning, so I could tell there was a little bit of anxiousness because like obviously as a performer you want everything to run smoothly. So I was just saying to her, I've had a chance to perform here a couple of times, and like it's so low key, just do you, man. Like no one's we're here to watch. Like no one's putting pressure on you. We just want to have a good time. So it's
Right. Yeah, no one's gonna be an asshole.
right.
Everyone's nice. As far as I know, I haven't, dude. I haven't been to a show in like forever. But I'm glad things are picking up with that again. I'd like to play Velvet Lounge soon. Do you know if Jackie Kuma is doing things with the booking now, or is it just Maxwell Peters?
I just know of Max at the moment. I've seen his stuff. I mean, obviously, I keep up on what Jackie's doing with her booking, but I haven't seen anything recently. I do. I know she had, and I don't know. Have you ever been to the basement spot that she has over in Portchef Station?
Oh yeah, I've been there a bunch. I played a show there a couple times.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. I don't know if she does that anymore. I think she put that to rest.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything recently.
Yeah, I think she's
Um,
done with that. I don't know.
I guess we'll have to see. But hey, this has been a great chat, and I appreciate you doing this. I'm glad that we got to reconnect, and I look forward to obviously seeing you in person in the future. If you and Jake end up doing more drumming things out in public, let me know. I'll grab that PA, and we can have some fun with it. And then obviously, as new music comes out from Zon, just give me a heads up. I'd love to promote that stuff on the various Grimbrook platforms and. Like I said earlier, keep in mind I'd be happy to join you on a trip to Times Square, and we could get that on Instagram Live, and I can get some quality video footage on my camera, and we can play around with that.
Right on, man. That sounds awesome. We'll definitely keep in touch.
All right, sounds good. Well, hey, I'll be in touch soon, and have a great rest of your day, man.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.